We're thinking about doing a blooper show at some point down the line. Oh, we on? Hey, welcome to another edition of What's Good with John and Joyce. Joyce, good to see you again as always.
Oh, so nice to see you.
You as well. And we have with us today a really special guest. A gentleman I had a chance to meet back in 2013. He came up to me and asked, would you like to host an event called Woofstock? I said, what? He said, it's kind of like a Woodstock for animals. He had me at animals. Anything to do with helping the animals. And I couldn't help but like this guy. He's got such a likable way about him. He always has that infectious smile. He has a kind word for everybody, which we're going to get into this campaign called Please Be Kind. But I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. But one of the kindest individuals I've ever met, Joyce. And he really kind of embodies what we're all about with the show, What's Good with John and Joyce. I'd like to introduce Ken Engelman. Ken, welcome to What's Good.
Thank you so much for coming on our show, because I saw your sign, way back. And I thought, who put that up there? This is what we need. Who did that? And then here you are.
Here he is in the flesh.
So tell us, what made you start putting signs up, and how many have you put up?
Well, first, thank you for having me. I'm honored to be here, and I'm so proud to be invited to be a part of this. I love your show.
Oh, thank you.
And I see so many people benefiting from your show. So I expect it to continue to grow and prosper and thrive. And
Well,
it's
how kind
wonderful.
of you.
With you on here, it's going to blow right up. I mean, come on, Ken.
You're the
It
man.
truly is an honor. Thank you.
The kind man.
Yes.
So how it all started was the Please Be Kind signs. We live in interesting times. And when I first started the Please Be Kind program, I had noticed that a lot of people were becoming frustrated with each other very quickly. And there were less communication and more pushing thoughts on others. And I work in media, and I noticed that a lot of major media were promoting clickbait type of stories. And they weren't really deep. They didn't include a lot of substance, and not a lot of people were learning the details of the stories that were being promoted. So angst. I experienced angst. I felt angst, and I wanted to be a part of bringing people together and inspiring kindness and inspiring community. And kindness, obviously, I didn't create the word kindness or be kind or please be kind. It kind of came together through an advertising campaign, because it is a public service announcement campaign. And so when I started to sculpt it, I wanted to originally have the words, if you have the chance to make someone smile, do it. The world needs more of that. It was a meme that I happened to see on social media, and it connected with me. And I then wanted to write that out on a repurposed political lawn sign, like the one behind me. I think it's behind me. And there were too many words. So a friend of mine said, just be kind. And I said, 3 words. That's perfect in media. It grabs attention. And then I just changed it up to please be kind. But I added the exclamation point just to be a little bit more assertive to the please be kind.
And please has kind of a softer, less demanding tone to it.
Correct.
Yes.
It definitely does. And it's something that resonated with a lot of people. And I had this created by a friend of mine who works at Home Depot in East Haven, and she's a crafter, and she just drew out the letters, cut it out for me. And this is the original stencil that I used over 700 times to create over 700
Really?
signs and placed them around 80 plus towns around Connecticut in 2024.
So
from
this is
January to December.
This is really, really just, rocketed, hasn't it? From just a shoreline area now to statewide and regional and hopefully national.
Yep. We had it in front of Rosso Vino in Short Beach, Brantford. Joe and Lisa were like, absolutely, please put it up in front on Short Beach Road. And then another neighbor said, hey, can I get one? And they contacted me, and then I made 5. I put one in front of Starbucks over by the entrance to Walmart. They said, absolutely, put it out front. And then it just snowballed from there. People wanted a sign. And so I said, you know what? I'm onto something here. Let me continue, because of the positive response. And as a volunteer, as a community caring person, I like to inspire others to be inspired like I was. Like when I met you, John, and when I met Eunice LaSala from Brantford. And there's other kind community caring people that inspired me. So I'm just passing it along. I'm just sharing what I've learned, and I'm inspiring others to do the same because I believe in the ripple effect.
Yes.
And I've heard such positive responses from educators, healthcare professionals, police, fire officials, community leaders, all different types of people telling me that this message, this simple 3 words, has resonated in a way that makes them feel not alone if they're going through difficult times that other people might not know about, or if they're depressed or not feeling themselves. They connect to kindness as opposed to connecting to the opposite.
Yes.
And the opposite can make some people feel alone. And so this is bringing people together and bridging 2 different places and bringing them together, uniting people based upon kindness, which we all learn from a young age. Be kind.
And Kenny, we all know, and Joyce, we talked about this before, you're a therapist, you work with a lot of clients with loneliness. I mean, loneliness is epidemic nowadays.
I have to say, when I first saw your sign, Ken, I will never forget that moment because I became very emotional. And I think that's what I felt, like I wasn't alone with trying to get that message out, like, people, just be kind. And that sign made me feel like, oh, this is going to be, something that could spread.
Right.
And even I took my grandson for a haircut in the chain, Supercuts. They have it inside, inside their little waiting area. It's the sign. And it's so powerful. But another thing I want to say to you is being kind is courageous. It's not, I don't want people to think, I hate this word when people, because they politicize the word woke, that, just be kind, just be kind. No, it takes courage to be kind because it means listening. And going back to what you spoke about the community, when people would meet as a community and have conversations, that's what brings peace. You're listening, you're talking, you're not just trying to get your point across. And I think that's what you're talking about, right? Bringing a community together.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Community is important for all, and it helps improve the health and well-being of communities, but it's communication. It's talking things through and not just pushing opinions. And this message I've learned from people reaching out to me, thanking me for doing it, but there's nothing to thank me for. It's just a vehicle sharing a message, utilizing different media that I understand how it works because I've worked in advertising and marketing throughout my whole career. So I'm just using tools that already exist to spread the message.
Yes.
And the message is to please be kind or be kind, which another group uses. It doesn't matter as long kindness and kind is a part of it. We can all promote kindness and be happier individuals, happier workplaces, happier families,
right,
through communication.
Right.
How many times have people gone down the street and saw the sign and they were thinking about giving that signal to somebody in the car, and maybe that was a reminder, please be kind, right?
It's a great reminder.
And you see those subtle reminders everywhere. I mean, I'm out in the middle of Connecticut, like Woodstock, Connecticut, and I see a sign there on a side road. It's like, wow, this thing really is getting out there, and it's a universal reminder. Like you said, Joyce, it does take courage because we have to get away from ourselves and put our own feelings aside and realize it's not just about us. It's about the whole community that we talk about all the time. Be kind. Be a good human.
Be a good human. It's not hard. No. It's not rocket science.
No.
And
I remember when Dr. Wayne Dyer said this. I don't know if it's the origin of this, but he would say in his talks, when you have the choice to be oh so right or oh so kind, always choose kind. Yeah. And I remember that when I'm having a conversation with someone, I say, no, this is not the time to tell you why I'm right. Like, look at this. It's a time to listen. And it's a time to show kindness. And then it's like throwing a bucket of water on a hot fire, right? When you're kind to someone, because you're not stirring the pot.
Right.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're better off just to say, let them be right and I'm going to be happy.
I like that.
Let them be right. I'm going to be happy.
Yeah.
But, when somebody has an opposing view, I've learned over the years, I just practice the pause.
Right.
And I'll listen to what they have to say. And I'm going to be respectful. I'm not going to try to get my, ideology or whatever I think about. I'm going to listen to what you have to say. And I can be persuaded. I'm not so like rock solid about things. I have my principles. We all do. But I can't be persuaded.
Right.
And I'll listen to you. But if anything, just be respectful.
And you go...
You're right about the word respectful. Kindness, respectful.
Right.
They go hand in hand.
They do.
Absolutely.
So can you trademark this?
People have asked me that, and I'm sure I could, but I don't want to.
You don't want to, yeah.
Just like all the other volunteer initiatives that I implement and I offer to nonprofits, I think it should be free for everybody. And I don't want to own something that should be beneficial for everybody.
Right.
And so anyone could create their own signs. People can use these words or other words like it. And riding my motorcycle around the state, I've seen, whether it's a coincidence or not, I've seen other signs that are similar pop up with their own messages. And I think it's fantastic.
Oh, that's great.
So
great.
I don't want to. I think it should be free for everybody. Because it's not about me, and I should not profit or benefit from this. It's just I'm sharing a message.
Well, I was just wondering if you did have a trademark on it, if then you can go to other states with it and do a campaign that way.
I can, and I'm glad you brought that up. So after the Guilford High School commencement speech last year, the superintendent had mentioned Please Be Kind in his commencement speech.
Oh.
I didn't know about it. I wasn't there. In the audience was a couple from Texas, and they heard it. On their way back to the airport, they saw my signs and they saw the digital billboard that I had up on 95 in East Haven. And all the way back, they had talked about this Please Be Kind campaign. They Googled me. They found me. He called me up. He said, "Are you the Please Be Kind guy?" And I said, "You're not going to believe this, but I'm in Texas and I want to do this program down here. Can I pay you?" And I said, "No, I'd be happy to send you a stencil, the marker, the paint, and explain exactly how I did it. Please go help yourself." And so just north of Dallas, he implemented a campaign with his children down there to spread the word down there. I have signs in many different states. I had a friend who I met in Guilford bring one over to Portugal, and she had promoted it and held it up for photos.
There's that sign in Lisbon.
In different places of Portugal.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Ken, that's fabulous.
It's really exciting.
Yes.
But it resonates on such a simple level that we all share, which comes from our community.
Right. It transcends communities and languages.
Yeah.
Much like music in so many ways, too.
Absolutely.
Doesn't it show you that the innate part of us is so good?
Yes.
And I think we're all tired of the angry signs, and we're tired of that. And like you said, the clickbait.
Right.
It's just people be good to each other.
I don't want to waste my time being angry with people or having grudges or things of that nature. I just want to let that go.
It eats away at
It eats
yourself.
away. You just better forgive that person. If anything, it eases on you.
Right.
Because so many times you have a grudge against somebody else, they're not even thinking about you, or they've already forgotten about you, and you're letting them rent real estate in your head, like we talked about before.
Yes.
So just take the high road, be kind, see people smile. Everything is going to work out just the way it should.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're absolutely right. And we've had this conversation many times before. And in a way, this campaign has been therapy for me to change my mindset away from what I might get caught up in or allow someone or situation to have real estate in my head. So I would then take that energy and repurpose it. And I would then create these signs or create other types of communication signs with Please Be Kind message on it and go out into the world and share it. And so it helped me. And then I learned it was helping other people. So it's all positive, going in the right direction.
Any pushback on this at all? You told me a story once about a person on the steps in the Capitol in New Haven or something.
Yes.
And I found that really interesting.
Oh,
I don't know how anybody can oppose this, but There's always
no.
somebody in the crowd.
Yes.
There's always someone. Luckily, it's not many.
Yeah.
So that first person was, it was interesting. We were doing an interview with one of the local news stations, and they saw somebody walking by, and they're like, "Excuse me, sir, what do you think about these Please Be Kind?" What? I don't have time for that. And just turned and walked away, which I was shocked, and so was the photographer, the camera person, and the interviewee. And we're like, wow, this is interesting. But that was one of two. The only other was there was a person in our community that spray painted my signs the color black and had a different message spray painted over my Please Be Kind message. And that turned out to be a little bit of a thing, but that slowly went away. But everyone else has completely embraced it. And this program was from January of 2024 to December 24. And now I'm working with a national trade publication for pizza restaurants in the pizza industry. And I'm speaking with the editor about inspiring pizza boxes to have Please Be Kind written on the pizza boxes, because the numbers are staggering for the amount of people who purchase pizzas, delivery, or pick it up and bring it home. And if we could have Please Be Kind on the pizza boxes, that message again and again and again for millions upon millions of people, it's going to have a ripple effect, and it's going to start to...
And it seeps in.
It
does.
And it's a reminder to be nice to that person if they're a few minutes late with that pizza when they're going at your door. Please be kind.
Right.
I mean,
Absolutely.
think about that, There's also another message for that.
Whether it's the delivery person that could be a little bit late, or I remember seeing at the beginning of this campaign in a pharmacy here in town, at the pharmacy counter, there was a sign, "Please be respectful to our staff." And I was like, seriously? That needs to be stated?
Right.
Yes.
And so this was a while ago at the beginning of the campaign, but people wanted this campaign.
Yes.
And so businesses, parents, it's a teaching moment with students and with children. What's with the signs? Why are there Please Be Kind signs? Let alone the repurposing of the political lawn signs, because these signs belong to politicians. And after their campaigns, instead of throwing them out in the dump, I asked if they can donate it to my nonprofit. And so I had a stack on my driveway.
Wonderful.
And I saw it working in advertising and media. They're mini billboards. Let's repurpose them, keep them from the trash and the town dump, and turn them into kindness signs.
Yeah. And I think you see them a lot more on where you're driving the side roads than a billboard, which is on the highway. Yes, you see that.
The billboard was beautiful, by the way. It
It
really was.
Yes. But this, when you're driving by and you're at a stoplight
Right.
and it's looking right at you, it's very powerful. It really is.
One of the really fun parts about the evolving of this campaign was our town of Brantford, the high school sports colors is red. So the very first signs that I had that were donated by a friend of mine, Ray, were red. And so I had the white letters over the red backdrop. But with Guilford's high school sports colors being green, I wanted to change them to green with white letters to personalize it to that community.
Customize.
Oh, I wondered about that.
Customize it to each community. So Brantford was red, Guilford was green, North Brantford was purple. So I spray painted purple, white letters. North Brantford and friends of mine up there volunteered to help me spread the message with Mike Frieda and the residents of North Brantford. And that's a maroon, a darker red color. So then each town had their own colored signs, which brought people within their own community closer together.
It's a microcosm of the whole national deal or the regional deal that you're doing right there.
Now, where are you doing this? Is this all spread out in your garage, in your backyard, when you're spraying? What are you doing?
It's a great question. My front lawn.
Wow.
On my front lawn.
Is your front lawn colorful looking?
It was for a very long time. Yes. We had a lot of fun with that. In the garage, there was too much spray paint and the smell of the spray paint.
Yeah.
So outside was better. And I went through so many cans of spray paint. And Home Depot was very kind and very gracious and helped me out with making some donations to this nonprofit initiative. So I'm appreciative of them and everyone else that stepped up to help out or said, yes, you know what? You can put this sign on my front lawn, or the business owner saying, yes, you could put it in my window. I have With over 700 signs, maybe 5 people had said no. And
Really?
the two examples that we shared, the other 3 would be just, I don't want to be involved with anything that could be considered political.
Please be kind, being considered political.
It's a head scratcher for me too,
Okay,
but
yeah.
out of respect, it's like no
We
problem.
respect where they're coming from.
No problem.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Right.
listening to me.
Exactly.
Have a great day.
Yeah.
But I didn't charge anybody anything, and it was just
Right.
my enjoyment of giving back and
Yeah.
seeing. I have had veterans thank me.
Yes.
I've had elderly people thank me. There was a person at Stop and Shop that once tapped me on the shoulder, and I was waiting to speak with the general manager, who's wonderful. She actually allowed me to put one of these in the cash register conveyor belt in between shoppers.
That's huge.
To remind people to please be
So
kind.
is this new that you?
I've had this out for about 6 months now.
Okay.
And I offer it to any business that has a conveyor belt that
Right.
wants to
Right.
remind people what it is. And gentleman tapped me on the shoulder.
Love
He's like,
that.
"Are you the gentleman, a little elderly man that's doing these signs?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "On the way here, I was cut off, and boy, was I angry. But I saw your sign, and it reset me."
Yes.
And
That's
I
it.
had the chills.
Yes, that's what you
and
want.
I almost had tears in my eyes. I was
my
like,
gosh.
Yep.
it
A reset.
worked.
I love that.
So when you're having a really tough day, a frustrating day, you remember those comments, and it makes it all worthwhile, doesn't it?
Yes, it sure does.
Wow, Ken.
Just this past weekend down in Ansonia, a friend of mine was playing acoustic guitar out in a place in one of the restaurants. And I'm on the patio, and I'm at a table of 4 chairs, and I'm by myself, just watching my friend play. And it started to get crowded, and 2 ladies came in, and they couldn't find a place to sit. So they're speaking with the manager. So I'm like, if you want, you could sit over here. I'm just by myself. And they said, at first, what? And then they're like, really? We could sit with you? I said, absolutely. We're just enjoying the music. They're like, that's so kind of you. So of course I do one of those.
Yeah,
So,
right.
That's cool. And they wanted to keep talking like, oh, the world needs more people like you. And it's not me. It's about just people being kind.
Right.
Yes.
It's not about me. And we got into this nice conversation. They sat down. So they said, have you ever seen these please be kind signs? And just the warmth that I felt knowing, and I'm like, well, actually, my nonprofit
Just shake their hand.
came
Yeah,
up with it.
yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah.
we met the please be kind
Right,
guy.
yeah.
We see these signs all over the valley.
Wow.
And I'm like, well, that's great. I'm happy that they're still up. And the smiles that they had and the positive communal conversation about kindness, community, unity continued. And
Yes.
so that happens quite often, I'm proud to say, from all the work that went into this program.
Wow. Just that little, meeting with those 2 ladies and just what it spawned.
Yeah.
And you happen to be like the impetus for this whole campaign.
But again, I didn't come up with Be Kind. That existed
But you
prior.
came up with the campaign itself.
Right. And I'm just utilizing different communication platforms, cash register,
And it could be in a better place than in the cash register. Where people could be
right.
rude to cashiers every now and then. Or
Right.
maybe
Or
more than every now and
anticipating
then.
the money they have to pay for their food.
Exactly.
Yes, which can make them angry.
Right.
But
And now
Ken,
pizza boxes. Hopefully we'll be
And the
moving into
pizza
pizza
boxes.
boxes.
I love the idea of the pizza
to reach
boxes.
the
Yes.
most amount of people for the least investment possible could be these pizza boxes.
Yeah.
And the editor of the trade publication for pizza restaurant owners, he's engaged, and this is in real time. So this morning I sent him another email, and he's like, I like it. Let's just figure this out to launch it and inspire the pizza box companies, those that do the printing, to include the message on the boxes.
But it's a great message, but it's
Yes.
also kind of self-serving for them too. It helped because they're asking, please be kind
Of course.
to our
look,
people,
look
to our
what you
employees.
started. Look what you started. Just something from your heart.
Thank you for saying that. It's natural for me, and it's a little bit awkward to be the person that's implementing a lot of this. One person had said that I'm in it for myself and that I'm go on media because I'm trying to promote myself. And I'd rather hide behind the scenes and not be seen, not be heard, and just be sort of a producer of these programs, because I'm more of a creator in my strategic marketing career. And I help my clients create advertising campaigns, marketing campaigns, community engagement campaigns. So basically what I'm doing, which I learned from Eunice and you, John, a long time ago, is to use my skills and abilities to help my neighbors in need. And it's local nonprofits. Started with the animal shelter. It turned into the senior center. We had our Stony Creek duck race, which was quite successful. We had Barca Luau at the Owenigo Beach Club. We had Animal Carnival at the Pine Archer Yacht Club. So there's many different events that stem from the same theme. And that's just me donating my skills and abilities from my career that I give for my clients to local nonprofits and my neighbors in need. It's as simple as that. And then in 2020, we created, we were together having coffee, and you, myself, and Judy, we received Beacon Awards in the past. So I said, look at us 3 Beaconeers. And John goes, it's what we do, baby. And I just looked at him and went, there's something there.
Yeah.
And Volunteer It's What We Do was born. That advertising campaign.
Just from a cup of coffee over at our, local
at our
coffee
favorite place.
That's how this started. Yes.
And then in 2020, I then created a Facebook group, and we have over 900 members in this Facebook group called Community Volunteers United. # Volunteer It's What We Do. And then I started a 501c3 nonprofit in 2022, which then became more of a mission with an actual mission statement to improve the health and well-being of communities from coast to coast by inspiring young people to be matched with local nonprofits for a mutual benefit. And Sally, a friend of ours who sadly passed last year, her and I sculpted a concept that I had, and we presented it to Brantford High School principal, and he invited us into the library in April 2024 to implement this pilot program that matched students who need community service hours to graduate with all the local town nonprofits. Find out the interests of the students, match them with the local nonprofit services for mutual benefit. It introduced them to each other, but it also taught compassion. It taught community thinking in the students, and it taught students that they don't have to volunteer with a nonprofit. They might not have interest in that service. There's over 30, 40 different nonprofits in Brantford that most don't realize because they can't afford to advertise or promote themselves. So this gives them a voice to the students, which is our future adults and business leaders, and it gives volunteer assistance to the local nonprofits for mutual benefit.
Absolutely.
And it was an easy concept to come up with, but everyone embraced it. The school embraced it. The town of Brantford embraced it. And now I'm happy to say the town of Brantford has BrantfordVolunteers.org, which is a website, which is just like the Facebook group that I have that has volunteers.
Well, speaking about that, let me say, because people are listening from all over the world.
Oh, okay.
And if they want to get in touch with you to find out, how can I get started with something like this? What is the best way? To go to your website?
Yes. This is so exciting. So anyone around the world is more than welcome to reach out to me. My name is Ken Engelman, and you can find me on Facebook. We have our website. Our URL is www.communityvolunteersunited.org.
And we'll put that under this I was going to say session.
We'll do our crawl.
We'll put it under this therapy session.
Stefania and Dave will take care of that. Right, Stefania? Be out there? Yeah. Okay.
And please, anyone is welcome to reach out to me. If you have a nonprofit or if you have you want to help your neighbors, I have endless ideas through my strategic marketing mindset that can help many different groups in their own communities. Because a lot of these are like templates. So they can be replicated by different groups of people anywhere in the world.
You can plug right in. You can plug right into a system.
And I'd be happy to give it all away.
I think you taught people on one small end of this, which is a big side of it, is that you can take these signs during elections, and after the election, you can go to them and say, hey, is it okay if I take these signs off your hands?
Yes.
And spray it and put kind messages on.
And that's easy because people in every single town, they have those signs. Every single town.
And I think they would like them off their lawn.
Exactly.
Instead of going to the transfer station or to the town, the garbage, recycle them, repurpose them turn them into kindness signs.
Ken, it's been an absolute joy to have you on here. And I'm so glad that you decided to come to the forefront, because you said, I'm a behind the scenes type guy. Your passion needs to be seen. It's infectious. You the way you explain it, the way you communicate, the way you present yourself. It's an honor and privilege to call you a friend. An honor and privilege to have you here on What's Good with John and Joyce, and we wish you continued success.
Thank you. Thank you, Ken.
Thank you so much.
And so thank you so much for listening and watching, and or both.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Subscribe. We're on all the major streaming platforms, but go to YouTube, type in What's Good with John and Joyce, subscribe, it's free, and just share this with everybody who needs a pick-me-up, which I think is just about everybody.
Everybody.
Till next time, bless you and your family, and thank you so much for tuning in.
Bye for now.